All right, folks, today's daily pattern is called Cadent. It is an official Zentangle pattern, and it's one of my favorites, and I don't even need this step out, but I'm going to show it to you guys because you probably do. First thing you do is to create some sort of dot grid. It can be small round dots like this. It can be larger dots. It can be just pinpoints. Doesn't really matter. But the general idea is the dot. Okay, and then it's showing you a close-up of what you do with the dot. You make this S shape. I actually draw them coming toward me. Like that. I make actual S's. And then I turn my page. Okay. So this is what the step looks like, step number 2. That's both step number 2. That's what step number 2 looks like in the grid. Right? And then step number 3, here's a detail view of that, is just going the other way. So if you did all your S's going this way, then you'll turn your page and do all your S's going this way. Does that make sense? It'll make more sense when I draw it, but and then that's what it looks like when it's finished. And you can embellish in all sorts of different ways. I just really find this a super versatile pattern, one of my very favorites. So I think I'm going to do a couple of different ways on my tile so that you can see like how it looks different, whether it's a big grid or a little grid. But I want them to kind of connect to one another. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make myself a border. Don't always make a border, but you know, some days are better than others with borders. I'm going to just kind of generally split my tile in half here, like that. Can you see that? Not sure you can, but there we go. And I don't always plan out my cadent the way I'm doing it right now. Sometimes I just go. But I think this time, since I'm sort of demonstrating or teaching, I want this to be a different scale than this, but I want them all to line up here. I hope that makes some sense. So I'm actually going to plan out the dots on this line. I want them there, along that line right there. And I can erase that later. So on one side, I'm going to do smaller dots. This one's a bigger side, so I'm going to use the bigger dots over here. On this side, I'm going to use this as a starting point, and I'm going to just make dots instead of circles, right? Just kind of lining them up, using that as the starting spot. And they don't have to be exactly square, they just have to be a grid. You can figure out your grid however it needs to go, right? Okay, so those ones are going to be in a dot. That's kind of small. You know, I think maybe I will make circles, but I'm going to make really small ones. So I'm going to take those little dots and just make circles, just so you can see them better. That's better. And maybe I can zoom in just a tad so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to make little circles right there. Just using that dot that I drew as my starting spot of my little circle. Okay, and you can see that those are not lined up absolutely 100%, you know, straight. It's okay, it will resolve itself. Okay, now on this side, I'm going to use the same thing, but I want bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my dots. I guess I could have just done a dot grid to start with, right? Guess I could have. Something's not lining up right here. All right, there's my dots again, but this time I want bigger circles because it looks different when it's on a bigger one. This is one of the first ones that I teach when I'm showing friends like an amazing thing that they can do that's like magic. This is another one of those that just kind of blows people away. I'll stick one there. Okay. So you see how I've got two different scales happening, right? So I'm going to do it in a larger scale one so you can really see how it goes. Let's see if I can get those zoomed in and remember not to move too far away here. All right. So I do here to there. Okay? Making an S from here to there. Do it on all of them. Make an S from here to there. Here to there. Right? Here to there. Here to there. Here to there. Now turn your page. Got it? You turned your page. It was this way. Turn your page. And then do it again. S shape from here to here. From here to here. All it is dots and S's. Right? Dots and S's. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again so I can do the rest of them so you can see. S shape, S shape. And then to connect it to this other, go to that little dot and go ahead and make that S shape, right? See how it works? S shape. And continue that on into the smaller grid. Just make your S the same way you did in the other ones. It's just connecting to a smaller dot. See how that goes? But because it's connected to a smaller dot, it looks different, but it's the same exact thing. And it's quick and it's easy. It's dots and S's, S's and dots. That's all it is. You can draw a circle or a dot and you can draw the letter S. You can do this. Okay, turn your page. I'm going to do these big ones first. I'm going to go ahead and put a dot here. Just so that there's something to attach that one to. You can do them in a triangular. See how, I mean, I could put a dot here to finish off that. Or I can just use that as a triangle and go from this one to this one. Same S shape, but in a triangle. And it kind of finishes it off, but it makes a triangle instead of a square, right? From that one to that one, to that one to that one. It's just S's. This one to this one. And when I'm drawing these ones with the little one, I'm making my S shape not quite so swirly. It's still an S, but it's more swirly on the big one than the little one, and that makes it look different as well. It's an S, but it's a shallower S. Right? See how that goes? So I've got two different Cadent looks, but they're drawn exactly the same. And then what you can do, if you want to really differentiate this line here, instead of making it look so even, you can go ahead and make this bunch right here into triangles. Take that S shape and make the triangle. Okay? Sometimes I do them all in triangles. Then sometimes I will leave, like this one I might leave like this, or I might maybe do a little swirl in this dot, right? Kind of give it some character. You can do all sorts of things to embellish this. This is really fun. You can, in here, you can aura this. Right? Now when you've auraed it, you can do a couple of things, but it can be like windows, and I think that's how I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do going to do windows, and I'm going to draw a thing through it. No, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. But you could draw something through behind. I don't want to do it. I don't think I want to do it on this tile. But let's say you had a swirly bit and it came through here and come out the other side. It could look like it's behind, like a window. See how I did that line? Don't think that's what I want to do on this one, but I have done before. But I don't think I want that in this particular piece. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it out. Okay. So let's do more in here. And do some little hatching in there. Feel like I need, like it's a little off center, because you can see that this is so much closer to the edge than this, but I don't want another row there. I do need something here to kind of balance it. So what I might do is I might put a dot here, just one, and do a triangle like that, and maybe like this, to kind of break it up a little bit, and maybe we'll do over here. I'm doing that same S shape. I'm going to just kind of, I'm just trying to fill that space, but I want to do it something a little different than okay, so that kind of made a shell-like or something. I'm not sure what exactly that is, but you know, it's different. I'm going to leave it like that for right now. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's shaded. I'm just going to be done, I think. I'm going to shade two sides of the Cadent. I'm going to shade on one side of the S, and then I'm going to turn the tile and shade the other side of just one, and you'll see how that makes a difference. Okay, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do this side. I feel like those triangles need, since I did do kind of right in the middle, I feel like this needs to be also orid. Yeah, that's better. And then I can put I can shade this as a whole shape. And make that one on top of that one. Oops, I missed a triangle. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. I want this one, just the whole shape, to be behind this other whole shape. So I'll make the whole thing a little bit darker. What's going on today? Okay. So y'all know we were gone this weekend. It was funny. I'm hearing the gardener next door reminding me that we get home and my son had decided to do some yard work. He was trying so hard to be helpful. I'm not sure my husband thinks he was helpful, but there was this big old arbor with a vine on it that we'd had in the backyard, and the last big windstorm had blown it over, and it had been just sort of laying on the lawn for a couple of weeks because nobody had time to go out there and do anything with it. And it had really broken off at the bottom of the bush, and it was going to need to be removed anyways when we're going to do some landscaping, and yeah, it's just in the way. So my son decided he was going to just clean it up, but apparently he didn't find the right gardening tools, and so he did the best he could with it. But we get home and this almost entire bush is standing straight out of the top of the green waste barrel. You know, the barrel is a pretty good size, right? Because it comes to like mid-chest height to me, so it's about 4 feet tall, this barrel, and there had to have been 6 feet of bush sticking out the top of this 4-foot barrel. It was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, my husband didn't think that the trash guys were going to take it like that. So they went out and did something else with it. Cut it up. Did did some other stuff, but it was, I should have taken a picture when I got home of this giant vine thing with a trellis all sticking out of the rubbish barrel. It was funny. I want this whole thing knocked back a little bit, so I'm going to just go ahead and spread some of that just gently, because I want the whole thing grayed out. Sort of a yin-yang sort of thing, even though it's not in a circle. But like part dark and part light. But not really dark. Does that make sense? See how that's knocked back? So this one looks like it's up higher than this one. And then I think this thingy mabob needs some shading. So we're going to do like this. And maybe a little across there. Okay, there. Something like that. Give you a little shading, finish it off. Okay, that's a very interesting shaped tile. It's not at all what I would normally have done, but that's how it came out. So, there we go. But like I said, Cadent is one of my favorites because it looks like it's really hard to make that. It looks, because you're not drawing that. That's the thing, is people think you've somehow freehand made this kind of shape, and they don't know how you've done it. They think you've spent all this time making this shape, but all it is those S's, right? So much fun. Give that a try. Cadent is one of my absolute favorites. And as a matter of fact, I think if you search on my channel for Cadent, you'll probably find it in one of my beginner videos as well, because I think I also did that, but it's been such a long time and so many videos I have forgotten. But it might be, and if I go through my channel and I find it, I will put a link to it either in the iCard or down in the description. All right, you guys have a really blessed rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.